Welcome to the French Drain Man channel. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood. I want to take you along for a really exciting video. We're going to look at what we do here in the USA. We're going to go over all the different things that make us superior when it comes to manufacturing. One thing that we do better than anywhere else is design build. Here in the United States, the men and women carry so much pride. And here in the United States, quality means something. This isn't a part of the world where it's all about plastic is cheap. This is where plastic parts are strong, beautiful, and something that's built to stand the test of time. Something that's going to last. Quality. That's what Made in the USA stands for. Quality. Here in the United States, we're willing to pay for quality. If it's a couple dollars more to make a part last forever, to make it really strong, to make it elegant, we build the best trucks and cars on the planet right here in the USA. So I think something like a pop-up emitter, I think we're more than qualified to build the world's most universal, the most elegant, the most practical, the strongest pop-up emitter ever made. I think we got this. I think we got this. When I met the owner of Innovative Mold, and he said to me, "We don't build anything cheap," I knew I was in the right facility. You're looking at a mold being manufactured for the first pop-up with a turf restrictor plate.
We increased these sizes to be 3/8 by like 8/12 or something. We just wanted to make these wider because we only had them down at a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So, and we got them that's 20 thousandths tall. Okay. The actual bead. We left it a true full oversized ball so it doesn't tangent on the side so the grain will pull. Alright, we're kind of concerned about making it a true ball as square vertical sides. But we have, okay. Actually, if you want to see the full assemblies, I can bring those. These are all the parts only. You know, what we do is we take the parts, each one, and then expand it for the type of plastic, and then build them over. Lid, clips, okay. Working area. And then we got, he's got the lid in the open position for our max height, where it's going to rub here, so it stops here. And drain plug. And then we got underneath, we got the 3-inch on the inside, and then our 4-inch on the outside. Okay.
Very nice.
All right.
Made in the USA, when quality matters, when functionality matters, when you want to get all the details right, you don't go to China. You don't go to anywhere else in the world but the USA. Here they're manufacturing the mold for the pop-up lid. They're going to overbuild. That's what we do. That's what we do here in the United States. We overbuild. We like overkill. The hinge on the lid is 10 times stronger than any of the other competitors out there. Everybody else is a distant second.
Base that'll actually have water, and it'll actually, that's your center hub on the B side, on the course.
Beautiful.
Right? All right. I have everything on order for that mold, box, ejector plate, and that's how it actually, pushes the part off with the ejection. That's where that insert's going, the pour out. Okay. All right.
Very cool.
Not much to see there. I mean, I could flip it for you, but
no,
it's just roughed out. Yeah. Like the 4 holes, those are waterline baffles. Actually, all 8 of them. These bigger holes are all waterline baffles, where the water will go in and convert and go up and down. There's a lot of either spring pockets to push the ejection back, kind of like that. You see the blue springs. What that is, the back ejector plate. The machine pushes it forward to push the part off, and then the springs let it come back as the machine retracts on its ejection.
very cool. Every detail matters. Every detail must be met. Every detail is addressed, from functionality to beauty. Everything has to be perfect. That's what it means when it says made in the USA. It means it was built to perfection. And it wasn't built cheap. It wasn't built to save a buck. It was built to last forever. It was built to serve the homeowner and give them the peace of mind knowing that there was nothing wrong with their drainage system at all on the discharge end. Everything was going to be all right. That's what it means when you build the world's greatest pop-up emitter in the USA. Yep, this is exactly why we put those plates. Perfect example why I try, and I know people, how did we get like this? Because of vanity. It's because of vanity. People don't want big shit in their yard. I get it, but we need it. We need it. So what we do is we set this in that plate. Now you could weed whip around the plate. We came up with the turf restrictor plate out of necessity, so the grass wouldn't grow over the pop-up. Which is nice. I mean, it's made out of, super strong, I mean, you could do anything to it kind of material. But yeah, when the grass grew over this, it didn't stand a chance.
Plus it's full.
Yeah, then once it can't daylight, people always say, oh, corrugated pipe, it clogs. No. When it can't daylight, it fills full of shit. That's what it does. If you can't get it out, it has nothing to do with the pipe. This is all about daylighting. This is how important it is to daylight. It's the most important thing to a roof runoff system. Now, I like them further away from the house than this. I mean, this is too close to the cement walk. It's too close to the house for me. So that's why we chose to basically take it out. And you have a yard, it don't break real hard till right there. So I wanted to get it right at the break. Then now this water is just being sent to the street. I feel great about that. And this was another one that was covered up. So it's basically full of organic material that decomposed. I mean, it makes really good topsoil. I mean, these are leaves that have broken down. They couldn't get out of the pop-up because the grass was growing over it. So all this was inside the pipe. None of the water was, all the water was coming off the roof. On these two downspouts in particular, none of the water was coming out. It was coming out right there, right at your house. So it'll just, usually during a hard rain, if you're out here, it'll just be spraying, just shooting up right there. The number one thing to an underground buried downspout is it has to daylight. If life happens, if life gets busy and the grass grows over top of it, you're not going to get shingle, gravel, or leaves to come out. They're going to collect and build up in the pipe. It's just going to plug the pipe. It wasn't the fault of the pipe. If the grass doesn't grow over the area of discharge, debris comes flowing out during hard rains. Now, we came up with the turf restrictor plate out of necessity. We kept getting bigger and bigger with our discharge basins. We would go from a pop-up to a 6-inch round to a 9x9 square to a 12x12 square. And finally, it was like, wait a minute. We have this big 12x12 for discharge, and it's holding a bucket of water, which breeds all kinds of disease. It's just a petri dish for your pets and children to get into. The most practical is the pop-up emitter. Very little water is left behind or held in that 90-degree elbow. The thing is, the grass grows over a pop-up too quickly. It's a liability unless you install it with a turf restrictor plate like we do. Again, we came up with this. We came up with this out of necessity. And sometimes it's the simplest things. Really happy to announce that we're getting a mold made so that we don't have to fabricate these by hand. And a lot of labor goes into it since we install so many. So next year, it'll be really cool to have our own FDM turf restrictor plate. It's clean. It looks nice. Now the grass can't grow over the pop-up. It can daylight. It's going to not only function when you need it, it's not only going to allow the water to flow during those hard rain events, but it's going to let the leaves and shingle gravel and any debris that comes off your roof, it's going to allow it to flow right out of the discharge end. The number one thing, the most important thing to any roof runoff system, to any buried underground downspout system, is that it can daylight. And you can't just forget about it. You have to make sure that you take care of it and you do this responsibly. Without a turf restrictor plate, you have to cut the grass out around this pop-up emitter every few weeks. I would just rather use a turf restrictor plate. I would just rather put a plate around that pop-up and be done.